Alright, tool groupies, today we got something a little bit different that I'm going to be reviewing here today. We're going to pull it out of the box, check it out. You see, I work and I'm doing different jobs for these different facilities, and one specific location decided they wanted to call me up, offer me a job because they need my help to come in, redo some things, keep this little small business alive for a little while till they figure out what they're going to do. Now, while I'm at these different locations, different places, doing the work that I'm doing, sometimes they might need to contact me for some reason. They might need to communicate with me. I don't always have my phone around, can't access my phone, don't always hear it ringing, because sometimes I'll set it out of the way. That way I don't break it in certain situations. So I decided to go to my local Lowe's and pick up this little set of CRAFTSMAN Walkie Talkies. Now, they do got a $50 set down there. It's got all different channels, a little bit more features on it. Might be a little bit better than this one. But these are their little $30 set of walkie talkies, and I think they might be fine for what I need because, hey, if it picks up within a mile in inner cities, then it might be good. All I need it to do is pick up within the facility that I'm working in. That way, if somebody needs something, I got somebody working with me, we can easily communicate with each other, something we can pack around with us. It's got a 1-year limited warranty, rechargeable walkie talkies. This is CMXZRAZF118 by CRAFTSMAN. I'll try to post you a link in the description box below there. Now we'll flip it over to the back here and let you take a look. It's got battery saving technology, power save mode, extends the battery life, rechargeable batteries are included, has 22 channel feature. Additional features are keystroke tones, call alert, low power indicators, and a Roger beep. Now, it says on the back of the box here that it has up to 16-mile range in the open plain. So if you're out there in the open plain somewhere, you get up to 16 miles, up to 8 miles in heavy forest area, and up to 1 mile in a heavy city area. And I've seen a lot of the reviews on these. There's different reviews, not necessarily for these specific models, but like I said, if I'm working inside of one basic little facility, if I'm going around doing some repairs and stuff, all I need is that person to reach me within that general range. Most of these bigger places, if I go do repairs inside of a hospital, a prison, something like that, you always got a guard with you, something of that nature. They got their own radios, you don't need them. This is for those situations where you're working for small businesses, you're working with someone, or you need someone to get a hold of you for some reason. Now, I don't know that these things are going to work all that great, but we're definitely going to find out. We're going to give them a review, and I'm going to let you know. More things it has here. It is a weather and emergency radio. Built-in weather radio receiver, covers all government-operated weather channels. It also works with other FRS walkie-talkie two-way radios, so you can actually interchange signals with different walkie-talkies. It can also be used with 3 AAA alkaline batteries per radio. Maximum range may vary on these also based on the line of sight operation without obstructions and under ideal conditions, which anyone should assume whenever you're buying basic little walkie-talkies like this. Now, if I would have spent a fortune on some of the better brand walkie-talkies out here, then I would expect them to do their job. But like I said, this is something that I just need to do something basic with, and we're going to see if they can do those basic features that it's advertising it can do for the price of $35. In ideal conditions, it should have a 16-mile range. One of these days we'll test that out also whenever we come back a few months later and do our final product review for performance and see how that goes. Now, here's everything that comes in the set. You get 3 of these rechargeable batteries per walkie-talkie right there. Then you get some USB cords. I believe this is 1 cord with 2 different USB chargers, so you can charge them both at the same time. And then it gives you all your little information right here on these particular models, warranty information, how to use it, all that kind of stuff in this pamphlet. And then this is what the walkie-talkies look like. These are nice, small, compact, sleek, easy to use. They've got, of course, your speaker right here. They got your call, your power, your up, your down for rotating the channels around. And then you push your button in to speak. It's also got the headset feature right there if you wanted to plug in a headset to it to hear better. Got your USB charger on the outside here. And you got your belt clip right here. This is plastic. It does not flex or move, so I would say that these will break extremely easily. So if you put them on your hip and run into something, put them on your belt, they're probably going to break. They might even break as soon as you put them on your belt, because in my experience, these things do not flex that easy. So this is more or less something I'd probably put in my pocket as opposed to just taking it and sticking it on a belt loop. All you got to do is pop that little lever right there, and then slowly pull this up, pull it out, and right there's where you're going to put your batteries at. So the way they design these, it's pretty difficult to get out of there. So if you do drop these and you haven't broke your belt clip, then it will kind of help hold that case in place so that the batteries won't just flop out. Like I said, that is very, very weak. I would have preferred to have seen a metal clip as opposed to a plastic one right here. But you can remove it by taking this little pull tab right here and then pushing up on it, and it does slide right out of your way. So it's that easy to take it off, get to the back cover if you need to. And then install your batteries here. Cover back on. And put your belt clip back on. Right there you go. As soon as you turn it on here, you can hear it. Turn the volume up, volume down, make a call, power off. Alright, now I've got these both turned on. Hello? Hello? Let's turn up the volume. Pretty high volume right there. 10-4. Can you hear me? And then it clicks every time you disengage it right there. The call feature. You hit the call feature and it rings the other one. So if they don't hear you, they can hit the call feature and it will automatically ring it, as you can see. And then you can change channels. I don't know if you could really see that, but you can change channels. It's on channel number 1 right here. The volume. Now you hold it down and it goes on channel, then you can change channel. I'm going to open up the little manual on this thing, see all the little features, and I'm going to test it out, and I'll come back and finish this video up. So now we're walking around testing this thing out. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
There we go. We're going to see how far going under tunnels, beneath the buildings, across the road, a little ways up, seeing how well these things pick up for general purpose repairs like this. That way, if me and a partner get into working, you know, we'll be able to communicate with each other, see how well it works. Which also means I'm going to be doing a lot of walking, probably take a drive up the road here in a minute. Go about half a mile to a mile up. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Alrighty. So now I'm going to hop in the truck. I'm going to go up the road and we're going to see how well this thing does about a half mile to a mile away, and I'll get back to you. Now, the cool thing about the cord is it's a USB cord. You plug it into your box and it's got 2 different charger ports right there. You plug them USBs straight into the side of your walkie-talkies and it'll charge them both at one time. So if you get more of these, each one will actually work with these radios, plus you'll get a charger for each one that comes in the kit. Alright, so for my basic short-term review for the day, you know, these things in my area, they might work differently in your area if you pick them up. It just really depends on where you live at, what type of range you got, how many cell phones are in the area, how many radios are in the area. You know, it goes by frequencies, things like that. It does got, I think, 22 different channels on it, so you can change around the different channels. As long as you and whoever's on the same radios are on that same channel, you can communicate with each other, which is really great. Like I said, these are the cheap ones, the most inexpensive ones that they had down there at Lowe's. They do got the better quality ones, and of course you got the professional grade that you can use. This is something more of a on-the-job side if you're working with someone or you're working in the area for an employer and you're like, hey, if you need to get a hold of me or if I need to ask you something, keep this radio on hand so I can kind of tell you what's going on. If you need to reach me, right there you go. Especially when you're going back inside of machines and working on them. I know there's guys out here who work on boilers professionally, and you're going to get down inside those boilers and start changing the flues, welding things, stuff like that. You know, pick up a little radio, be able to communicate with your partner on the outside. You know, it kind of works out that way. And as far as using these today and testing them out, I didn't have no problem. I went about a mile up the road. I still had range within that mile. You know, I went on out about another 1.5 miles, and I was still getting some range in some spots, but not in others. You know, whenever I cut and went up some back roads and stuff, I didn't have that much range. I couldn't really pick them up, but whenever I got back out on the freeway, it handled perfectly fine, come in crystal clear. And as you can see, within the vicinity of a general working area where you might work at a facility, these things, you know, they work perfectly good. As far as me and what I'm going to use them for, like I said, if I got someone working with me, I'm going to want them to have it on hand. They can easily stick this thing in their pocket. I mean, it's really tiny, really compact. For an example, all right, this is one of them Juul cigarettes, electronic cigarettes. It's actually shorter as far as the body goes as one of these Juul cigarettes right here, and it's not quite as wide either. I mean, it's basically smaller than a pack of cigarettes unless you're getting shorts. You know, you get some Marlboro Reds. Right here you go. It's about the size of a pack of Marlboro Reds. Throw it in your pocket, go on about your day. But they do have options. You can take them, you can hook them on a belt loop. It's got the option for you to put it around a wristband. That's why it's got that little hole right there. You know, you got your volume setting that goes up and down, and then you got the channels, you got the weather radio and the station that you can register into. It's got this little call feature if you need to call somebody. These things have battery saver technology too. So if you turn this thing on and you're not using it after it's fully charged, you know, it'll run the whole day long. I haven't had a problem with it all day. And if you need to call your partner or whatever, you just push and hold this little button right here that says call, and it will ring the other device. And then of course you can change your modes right here. You can turn it on, turn it off, all that good stuff. As far as what I need it for, you know, if you got kids or something, man, these things would work out great for the kids to play with around the house. I mean, they're really tiny, really compact. You know, the better version of these runs you about $50. They would probably be a little bit better for other people out here. But, I mean, again, it's just you and whatever it is that you're working with. I know there's a lot of people out here doing apartment maintenance, complex maintenance, you know, industrial maintenance, business maintenance, whatever the case may be. These things are great to have on hand. If you don't got a on-site radio, some places that I've been in before and I've worked in before, they have the stationary radio. You got the office, you're the supervisor, you can get on that radio and be like, hey, Charles, where are you? Neil, where are you? Have you got to this apartment yet? You know, you can do kind of stuff like that, but some places do not have that luxury, and if you're one of those places, you want these yourself so you can communicate with your buddy. Right there you go. You know, sometimes you'll have somebody going underneath the floor of a house working on it. Sometimes you'll be up on a roof. You know, you're working here and there trying to find a spot, what you're running, what you're working with. You know, you're running cables, you're running pipe, whatever the case may be, and these things might come in handy. I mean, really for, you know, general purpose stuff, I'm going to be taking them. And I might actually put them on site at one or two locations and talk to some employers that I work with, you know, and just be like, hey, whenever I come down frequently and I'm working with you, you know, do you want one of these on site? Because they could easily go buy some, keep it on site. Whenever I'm there, they could get in touch with me if I'm working on something and I needed something. It wouldn't take much, just pick up the radio and, you know, check in with them. Or if they needed me for whatever reason, they could just pick me up, tell me, hey, we need you over here to do this, that, or the other. But anyhow, as far as my review goes, are they worth the initial price? That all depends on you. It all depends on what your job is, what you intend on using them for. Now, as the box said, it'll get up to 16 miles in range, and that's if you're out in the wide open areas, you got great reception, these things might pick up wonderfully. If you're out in the desert area, they'll probably pick up great, no obstructions in the way. You got all kinds of signal going around and everything. Whenever you're in the forest in different locations, you might get about 8 miles out of it, but when you're in the heavy city, you know, these big city areas like New York or something, they recommend up to 1 mile. And in my neck of the woods, it's kind of in between thing, you know, because there's, you know, you go up the backwoods, of course, you're going to have these big old mountains in the way. You can't even get cell phone signal in some of these areas, you know, so these radios might work, they might not type situation. But as far as what I'm using it for, I think it's going to be worth the price that I paid for it. You know, I'm going to be trying them out over the next few months, see how I like it, see how it works out. You know, if it aids me in jobs or something that I'm doing, then it might turn out all right. But again, you want to check these things out. They got them at Lowe's. Right now, they're about $30, $35 in store. Not too bad for the price. If you got these, comment in the description box below. Let everybody know what you think about this particular model. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Pros and cons. You know, is it working for you? Or what type of model do you recommend? And what do you use it for? But until next time, grab yourself some tools and start making repairs great again.